A very good evening. My name is Beatrice Njeri. Our sign language interpreter is Paul Mathenge. And this is GBS News at 9 coming to you live from Kenya's capital, Nairobi. Kenyans across the nation came together today to celebrate the inaugural Mazingira Day, a public holiday dedicated to environmental conservation with a focus on sustainability and climate action. This significant shift in the national calendar highlights Kenya's commitment to protecting its natural resources. We have that story and more coming up, but first, here are the highlights.
I beg to move the following motion: the establishment of a special committee to investigate the proposed removal from office by impeachment of H.E. Rigathi Gachagua.
Heads roll as it is a do or die for impeached Gachagua, with Senate as his only option for survival. Kenya marks inaugural Mazingira Day on the 10th of October, away from the traditional Moi Day, focusing on environmental conservation and the preservation of natural resources. Kenya hate emission on course as Prime Minister His Excellency Dr. Gary Conil lands in the country for a state visit to engage in high-level bilateral talks with President William Ruto.
We need to go out there and compete and show also Kenyans the hard work that the team has been building for the last 1 year.
A 24-man Harambee Stars squad for AFCON out as Team Jets out for Cameroon. And now, after the Senate settled on the Deputy President's impeachment motion hearing done under a plenary hearing and not on a special committee, the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's political career, which grew at a faster rate, will now be determined by two alternatives of either resigning early before the Senate makes its decision or wait to be impeached and be barred from holding any public office. Which direction will the Deputy President follow? Davis Karani with the details. Africa on all our social media handles. We do apologize for a little technical issue. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with even more. Siko nia? Excuse me. Unajionea ni nini?
Honorable Senators, I wish to report that I have, pursuant to Article 1,
Kenya celebrated its Nani? Aitwaje? Mr. Manuya? Mr. Manuya? Story ya Susan na yangu zinafanana. Good. You don't need it. Mi yangu imeanzia, sikiza. Kenyans across the country today came together to observe Mazingira Day. Susan, the First Lady Mama Charuto hosted the inaugural Mazingira Awards. Like, I'm literally talking about the same thing, but mine is like in terms of country, but for her it's like going into specifics. So of course mine sounds much nicer. Look at me loving myself and all that shit. I need to do my hair. Welcome back. You're still watching GBS News at 9. Can Cynthia, can you go back to story 1? Thank you.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back. You're still watching GBS News 9. After the Senate settled on the Deputy President's impeachment motion hearing, done under a plenary hearing and not on a special committee, the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's political career, which grew at a faster rate, will now be determined by two alternatives of either resigning early before the Senate makes its decision or wait to be impeached and be barred from holding any public office. Which direction will the Deputy President follow? Davis Karani has the details.
Honorable Senators, I wish to report that I have, pursuant to Article 152 of the Constitution, received a message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the approval of a special motion for the removal from office by impeachment of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua.
It was a special sitting in the Senate after the National Assembly Speaker Honorable Moses Wetangula wrote a letter to the Senate Speaker Honorable Amason Kingi after the National Assembly approved the impeachment motion that was moved by Honorable Mwingi Mutuse, which was overwhelmingly supported by a majority of 281 members of the National Assembly.
The results of the division on the motion are as follows. Abstentions 1, the noes 44, the ayes 281, so the ayes have it.
After the Senate received the letter of approval of the Deputy President's removal from the office through impeachment, Senate chambers officially becomes a pre-trial house for the DP, making it the first of its kind. Hence, the Senate becomes a standard chartered territory, and the special hearing which has been adopted by the Senate will allow the DP to appear before the floor of the House to defend himself after the Senate Majority Leader Honorable Aaron Cheruiyot agreed to move the motion.
I beg to move the following motion: the establishment of a special committee to investigate the proposed removal from office by impeachment of H.E. Rigathi Gachagua, EGH, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, that whereas pursuant to Article 151B and 2, Article 145 of the Constitution and the National Assembly Standing Orders 64 and 65, on 8th of October 2024, the National Assembly approved a special motion for the removal from office by impeachment of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, EGH, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya.
The next video, where I have the most incompetent Inspector General of Police, I think, in the world. The most incompetent in the whole world. His incompetence may not necessarily play out when things are working, but when things get to a head and you need some decisions to be made, I can tell you for sure, the gentleman we have as an IG cannot.
Deputy President, criticizing IG Mutiabai, ECI Kenoti, Rigathi Gachagua has learned his job
From his boss.
The DP now has an alternative to either resign from office to maintain his political career or wait for the impeachment and challenge it in court. But if he will be officially impeached and the court fails to uphold his impeachment, the DP will seize his office and the names to replace his position will be submitted to the National Assembly for vetting, after which the final replacement will be done within a period of 6 days. Davis Karani, GBS News, Parliamentary Building, Nairobi.
Kenyans across the country today came together to observe Mazingira Day, a public holiday focused on environmental conservation and the preservation of natural resources. The holiday, formerly known as Utamaduni Day, was renamed following President William Ruto's signing of the Statute Law Bill. This change shifts the emphasis from cultural heritage to a commitment to environmental advocacy, reflecting the urgent need for sustainable practices in the face of growing environmental challenges. Here is more on the same. Kenya celebrated its first official Mazingira Day today, marking a significant shift in the national calendar toward environmental conservation. This public holiday, previously known as Utamaduni Day, was renamed after President William Ruto signed the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendments Bill, transforming a day dedicated to cultural heritage into one of environmental advocacy. Although this was the inaugural Mazingira Day, there is hope that it will grow into a powerful movement, with the government aiming to inspire Kenyans to take small but impactful steps towards a more sustainable future through enhanced environmental education and action.
Kwa hivyo tungependa kuwasihi wananchi tuweze kuendelea kutunza misitu. Hata kama wengine wetu pengine tumeishi hapo, tuna jukumu kubwa zaidi ya kuhakikisha hiyo miti ambayo imepandwa hivi leo na siku zingine zijazo na zilizopita tuhakikishe imekuwa.
Aden Duale, the Cabinet Secretary for Environment, Climate Change and Forestry, emphasized the significance of Mazingira Day as a chance to boost environmental protection efforts. He urged citizens to participate in conservation activities to combat climate change, biodiversity loss and pollution. A major event this year was a cleanup initiative led by Duale at the Arboretum segment of the Nairobi River. This effort marks part of the Climate Works Mtaani initiative aimed to engage the public in hands-on environmental conservation.
As a country, to restore our landscape, to restore our ecosystem, to secure our biodiversity, to plant and grow more trees, and to increase our forest cover from 10% to 30% by 2023. So it's not a choice, it's an obligation, it's a constitutional obligation.
Events for Mazingira Day extended beyond Nairobi, with communities nationwide organizing cleanups, tree planting activities, and educational forums. These grassroots initiatives played a vital role in promoting a culture of environmental stewardship. Additionally, the First Lady's Mazingira Awards were held to recognize individuals and organizations making significant contributions to conservation efforts.
As the mother of the nation, I'm focused on amplifying the voice of children in Kenya by advocating for your protection, provision, and participation. The First Lady's Mazingira Awards falls under children's participation, ensuring that no learner is left behind in our climate action.
As Kenya faces the challenges of climate change, including erratic weather patterns and increased flooding, the emphasis on environmental conservation during Mazingira Day serves as a crucial reminder of the collective responsibility to protect the nation's natural resources. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki, in a Gazette notice, designated Mazingira Day to support President Ruto's ambitious target of planting 15 billion trees by 2032 to combat climate change and restore Kenya's forests. Moving on, Kenya received His Excellency Dr. Gary Conille, Prime Minister of the Republic of Haiti, upon his arrival at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport for a 4-day official visit in the country. During his visit, Prime Minister Conille will engage in high-level bilateral talks with His Excellency President William Ruto, with a focus on strengthening the long-standing ties between Kenya and Haiti, particularly on areas of mutual interest, including security cooperation and fostering partnerships that will promote regional stability. This visit by His Excellency Dr. Conille represents a significant moment in the deepening of diplomatic relations between the country, and with both Kenya and Haiti eager to explore new avenues for collaboration in economic development and security partnerships. Also present were Dr. Alfred Mutua, Cabinet Secretary for Labor and Social Protection, Ambassador Dr. Monica Juma, National Security Advisor, and Honorable Tindi Mwale, Member of Parliament for Butere. Haiti's transitional Prime Minister Dr. Gary Conille is set to arrive in Nairobi this Friday for the crucial discussions on security as gang violence escalates in his country. This visit follows a devastating attack in the town of Port Sunday, where at least 70 people lost their lives, highlighting the urgent need for international support. Here is more on the same.
Gary Conille's visit comes at a time of escalating violence in Haiti, where gangs have taken control of numerous towns, leading to severe humanitarian crisis. The Haitian Prime Minister will engage with President William Ruto to finalize the deployment of additional Kenyan police officers, part of the multinational effort to restore order. The multinational security support mission, which Kenya is spearheading, recently had its mandate renewed but is facing financial challenges, with donor contributions lagging behind. Currently, about 400 Kenyan police officers are on the ground, and plans are in motion to deploy a total of 1,000 officers by January. Prime Minister Gary Conille will also hold talks with the leaders from the United Arab Emirates to explore partnerships in security technologies, further enhancing Haiti's defense capabilities. His meetings extend to various African nations addressing the security crisis and potential collaborations for Haiti.
One of the aims of this trip is to go to Kenya to talk to President William Ruto about speeding up the deployment of Kenyan troops as quickly as possible to continue supporting the national police force.
Despite some progress in securing areas previously controlled by gangs, recent violence, including a devastating attack in Port Sunday that resulted in at least 70 fatalities, underscores the urgent need for increased support and resources. The situation in Haiti is dire, with many citizens displaced and seeking shelter amid ongoing conflict. The international community's response remains crucial as gangs continue to exploit the power vacuum, threatening stability in the region. Irene Juguna, GBS News.
Do keep your comments coming in through our SMS line 21144 and GBS TV Africa on all our social media handles. On that note, let's take a very fast break. We'll be right back with even more.
The gift of a man who plays in a company. What two things can you never eat for breakfast?
The fact that I started selling art, that's where the interest came in. Yeah, they know this thing can pay.
And who has been your biggest cheerleader in your art journey?
My biggest?
Cheerleader. Ule mwenye anakuwa.
Oh yeah, I'm artist Victor Mtua. Facebook is Victor Mtua. Of course, the first time I sold my art at relatively 50K.
Ati?
Time niliuza art yangu like 50K.
Oh, Victor, kwanza before hata uoneshane watu painting zako, nataka kuuliza, if I was to pay you, nikwambie like usiwahi chora tena, usiwahi paint tena, will you? Unaweza acha? You're famous, what will your stage name be?
My stage name?
Nilikuwa pale kwa stage, nilikuwa unajiintroduce kama.
Hello, my name is Nyabio. I'm from Mahanim. Call this school a good school because the second my mom saw it, she saw it was Christian-based. And when I see Christian-based, that's what the character my mother wants from me. And I like the sports that we play for PE. Like sometimes we play table tennis, we can play football, we match, and on Fridays we have games. And we verse the teachers in football. And this is why I think the school is the best school your children can go to.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Andrew Muhia has assured coffee farmers that the government is working to meet European Union regulations ahead of a looming export ban. The EU's deforestation rules set for December 2024 could block 55% of Kenya's coffee exports. As a multi-agency committee is assessing compliance, Muhia has emphasized that early adherence is crucial for securing Kenya's position in the EU market. Here are the details.
Government has announced that it's making plans to help coffee farmers address an impending ban for selling Kenyan coffee at the European market over non-compliance with regulations. According to Andrew Muhia, the Cabinet Secretary for Ministry of Agriculture, Kenya is keen on meeting all regulatory compliance requirements by the EU before the set deadline of December 2024. Earlier, the EU Parliament passed legislation aimed at reducing deforestation and forest degradation from products that got their way into the EU market, such as coffee, a main export earner for Kenya. According to the EU regulations, coffee sales at the EU markets risked being banned since the original coffee trees are usually uprooted during harvesting, thus contributing to forest cover degradation. The EU had initially given affected trade partners such as Kenya an ultimatum to ensure that they put proper regulations to address the concerns or risk being locked out of the European market. After 30th of December this year, the EU accounts for 55% of Kenya's coffee exports, making compliance with these regulations essential to the success of Kenya's coffee subsector. The percentage represents an annual export valued at 800 million Kenyan shillings, with high-quality Arabica beans coffee as the main product. Hilary Kabila, GBS News, Nairobi.
Human rights activists in Narok, led by Professor May Temei Dapash, are criticizing police for failing to prosecute suspects following a series of murders in the past month. Dapash, who lost his son, questioned why 3 arrested suspects were released without charges. Meanwhile, health stakeholders in Siaya have called on Kenyans to stop stigmatizing mental health patients and work towards debunking myths surrounding mental illness during the commemoration of Mental Health Day at the Siaya Kenya Medical Training College grounds. The stakeholders expressed concern that many individuals with mental health issues continue to suffer in rural areas due to misconceptions and harmful beliefs. In other news, deans from Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology and the Just Ladies Network are encouraging widows to overcome challenges and avoid falling into poverty after losing their spouses. They urged widows to take advantage of government and non-state initiatives aimed at empowering them and improving their families' well-being. Paris Kego has the full details.
Human rights activists in Narok town have decried police reluctant to bring to book culprits of murder after 10 people were killed in the town in the last 1 month.
The reason there has to be
Led by Professor Mutimei Dapash, an activist who also lost his son in the mayhem, the activist wondered why 3 people who had been arrested in connection with the crimes were released from the custody without being charged in court. Dapash alleged that there was enough evidence to link the 3 suspects with his son's murder, as there was CCTV footage showing the 3 chasing his sons toward the dark area, and hours later he was found murdered a few meters from the spot.
Kama mtoto wangu mimi mwenyewe, mtu amesoma kama mimi, a very informed leader like myself, kama mtoto wangu anaweza uliwa na anakosa justice, nikiona mwenyewe, and I understand the process very well. Na je yule mtoto ambaye anatoka kwa village.
Another activist, Bosta Kisio, also blamed the police for taking too long to arrest the criminals and prosecute them in court of law.
Na kushangaza hata plea tu kukana ama kukubali mashtaka hawakusomewa.
However, Narok Governor Patrick Ntutu, while addressing Narok residents in Narok town, said security had been beefed up after the killings.
Starting from 2. So we had 2 people that were to give testimonies.
Meanwhile, health stakeholders in Siaya have urged Kenyans to end the stigma around mental health and dispel associated myths. Speaking at the Mental Health Day event at Siaya KMTC, County Coordinator Peter Omoth revealed that over 9,000 mental health patients have been treated at the county referral hospital in the past 2.5 years, with 51 admitted to the mental health ward.
In 2023, we saw outpatient on mental health cases of 3,260. In 2024, this year, up to mid-year, we managed to see 2,050.
He added that the county has set up satellite mental health clinics in all sub-county hospitals to provide specialized care. Southeast Alengo, member of the County Assembly, Mrs. Masinde Scholastica Madowo, called for concerted efforts to demystify mental health.
Mental health is actually treatable. Mental health is a condition like any other health condition, and that together we can overcome it.
The chief guest during the occasion, Dr. Bernard Oguche, who represented the County Executive Committee members for health, said there was need for more awareness efforts to make Kenyans realize that mental illness can be treated like any other diseases. He called for early screening, treatment and management of mental illness patients. In other news, those from Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology through the Just Ladies Network have urged widows to rise above poverty after losing their spouse by utilizing government and non-state support programs. Speaking at the Jos Siaya campus during a Mazingira Day event, the network donated items to widows from Siaya Township Ward as part of the empowerment efforts. Led by the Director of Quality Enhancement and Assurance, Professor Pamela Rabulu, the Dons said they will continue working together with the communities to improve the lives of the vulnerable members of the society.
And today being a Mazingira Day, we felt as we are planting trees, a team is already planting trees, and we came early so that the women here can also go back to plant trees. We thought let's stretch our hands out to reach to the widows. And we are just beginning with Siaya. We are also going to move to Bondo.
Siaya Township Ward member of the County Assembly, Mr. Obiero Otale, head the Just Ladies Network for the initiative, adding that the Siaya leaders were ready to partner with it to improve widows and orphans' lives.
The good ladies, that what we are doing, we have to be very much thankful for it. And as leaders of Siaya, in case you want any support from us, Professor, we are also ready to partner with this so that we can see how these young ladies can be happy every time.
The Alego Usonga constituency widows chairperson Josephine Atieno Muga thanked the university dons for the support and called for unity among its members. Paris Kigo, GBS News.
Many thanks for joining this live broadcast. We have a lot lined up for you in our news segment tonight, but first let us take a quick commercial break.
Leo tuko hapa kuchemusha mambo. Yeah, we want to talk about things that youths do, things that are led by youths, things that are there to help the youth.
The major mission for OOI is we want to be an umbrella organization for the voice of the African youth.
Okay.
That's why we bear the name African.
Africa.
Yeah, so we want to bear the voices of young people and walk with them the journey of life.
It doesn't matter if you have education background or you don't have. They just let you know and understand and feel proud of yourself. You can do this. This is what you want, go for it, do it.
Okay.
We've seen that there has been a challenge of teenage mothers coming back to the society. Is it going back to school, going back to work?
Okay.
So I can say that maybe the society is, we do not have the best environment to integrate or take back some of even the teenage mothers.
So becoming a manager, it's something that someone can be. If you can just create something and out of it you make it beautiful.
Going alone, I'll go nowhere, but going together will go so far.
In everything that you're doing, just ensure you're consistent. Yeah, because consistent beats hard work. Huh?
Every day is a day to watch the youth hub. Wow, I like that.
So through the 4 gospel books, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, John, we can know the heart of Jesus in depth.
그리고 우리가 느끼는 그 예수님을 성경을 통해 느낄 수 있어서 너무 감사합니다.
And the Jesus that we can feel him through the scriptures, and I'm very thankful about that. Jesus Christ came to this earth for our sins.
지셨고,
he carried our sins.
십자가에 못 박혀 죽어 죄의 형벌을 당하셨고,
and he was crucified and he received the punishment for sins.
무덤에 들어가셨다가,
and he was put into the tomb.
사흘 만에 부활하셨습니다.
and resurrected in 3 days.
이것이 우리가 말하는 복음입니다.
This is the gospel that we speak.
예수님께 우리 죄를 위해 죽으신 이야기.
About how Jesus died for our sins. The purpose of Jesus being crucified.
우리 죄를 담당하기 위하여 십자가에 못 박혀 죽으셨습니다.
He was crucified to pay for our sins.
예수 십자가에 못 박혀 죽으심으로 우리 죄가 분명히 씻어졌는데.
And through Jesus being crucified, clearly our sins have been washed clean.
참 안타깝게도 많은 사람은 여전히 죄인이라고 말합니다.
However, unfortunately, many people still say that they are sinners.
Welcome back to the broadcast and now to matters international news. In a dramatic turn of events at a summit of French-speaking countries in Paris, DR Congo President Felix Tshisekedi walked out in protest after French President Emmanuel Macron failed to address the ongoing conflict in eastern Congo during his opening remarks. The incident raises questions about France's diplomatic relations with the Congo and its stance on the conflict involving Rwanda. Here is the full report.
The summit, intended to strengthen ties among African French-speaking nations, quickly became a platform for diplomatic tension. President Tshisekedi's walkout overshadowed discussions as he reacted to what he viewed as a slight against the Democratic Republic of Congo. During his speech, President Macron addressed several global conflicts, but notably omitted the ongoing violence in eastern Congo, a decision that sparked outrage in Kinshasa.
I firmly believe that the Francophonie is a place where we can work together to promote a diplomacy that defends sovereignty and territorial integrity everywhere throughout the planet. And that carries the same message, standing next to Ukraine, which is under attack today, its borders and territorial integrity threatened by Russia's war of aggression. And all of us believe in the freedom of people to decide for themselves, and are convinced that there can be no peace in the Middle East without a two-state solution. We all stand by our Armenian brothers for the respect of their sovereignty and territorial integrity. We all stand by our friend, the Lebanese people, whose sovereignty and peace are today being shaken.
For many Congolese, this was seen as an attempt by France to appease Rwanda, which has been accused of supporting rebel groups in the region. Tshisekedi's walkout not only highlighted his discontent, but also emphasized the deepening rift between the two nations. The conflict in eastern Congo has displaced over 1.7 million people, with the UN and Congo accusing Rwanda of backing the M23 rebels. Rwanda, on the other hand, denies these allegations and claims to be acting defensively. As diplomatic discussions continue, the implications of Tshisekedi's walkout are likely to resonate beyond the summit, influencing future interactions among French-speaking countries amid ongoing regional conflicts. Irene Juguna, GBS News.
President Kais Saied achieved a decisive victory in Tunisia's election on Monday, solidifying his hold on power following a first term marked by the imprisonment of opponents and significant changes to the country's institutions that expanded his authority. According to Farouk Bouskara, the head of the Independent High Authority for Elections, the voter turnout was recorded at 28.8%, with 2,808,548 votes cast at a total of 9,753,217 eligible voters. The authority stated that Saeed received 90.7% of the votes just one day after exit polls suggested he had considerable lead in the North African country known as the origin of the Arab Spring more than a decade ago. Here is more on the same.
Supporters of current Tunisian President Kais Saied began celebration in the capital on Sunday night after an exit poll broadcast on a state television showed him winning, beating two rivals, one of whom is now in prison. Saied on Sunday faced two election rivals, his former ally turned critic, Shab party leader Zonhea Moussou, and Ayachi Zamel, who was jailed last month. Ayachi Zamel, the nearest competitor, garnered 7.4% of the vote, despite spending most of the campaign in prison due to various sentences for election-related offenses. Election officials indicated that only 28.8% of eligible voters participated on the October 6, a stark decline compared to the first rounds of the country's previous two elections following the Arab Spring, reflecting widespread apathy among the 9.7 million eligible voters. Saied's main rivals, who has been in prison since last year, were barred from participating, while lesser-known candidates faced imprisonment and exclusion from the ballot. Over the weekend, the atmosphere in Tunisia showed little indication of an election, aside from anti-Saied protests on Friday and celebration in the capital on Sunday night. This sense of hopelessness stark in contrast with the Tunisia of 2011, when demonstrators rallied for bread, freedom and dignity, leading to the ousting of the president and the establishment of the multi-party democracy.
Elections are really important for me. We have to choose the person that we think capable of serving the country. We can't change things with talk and words alone.
I'm here today because these elections are important and it's our national duty. We must fulfill our duty to our country, Tunisia.
In the years that followed, Tunisia adopted new constitution, formed a Truth and Dignity Commission to address injustice faced by citizens under the previous regime, and so its prominent civil society organization awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for facilitating political dialogue. However, right groups now say Saied, in power since 2019, has undone many of those democratic gains while removing institutional and legal checks on his power. Saied, 66, has rejected criticism of his action, saying he is fighting a corrupt elite and traitors and that he will not be a dictator. Political tensions have risen since an electoral commission named by Saied disqualified 3 prominent candidates last month amid protests by opposition and civil society groups. The new leadership struggles to revive the struggling economy and has quickly lost popularity due to ongoing political disputes and incidents of terrorism and violence. Paris Kigo, GBS News.
In a groundbreaking initiative aimed at empowering the next generation of ICT professionals, Huawei has officially launched the ICT Competition 2024 for college students in the country. This competition not only offers advanced training but also a chance for participants to showcase their skills on an international stage. Here are the details.
The Huawei ICT Competition 2024 invites college students across Kenya to register, learn, and compete in a series of challenging ICT tasks designed to enhance their technical capabilities. Participants will have access to expert training resources covering essential ICT subjects, enabling them to sharpen their skills and knowledge. During this immersive experience, they will engage in hands-on training, network with global ICT professionals, and represent Kenya in a global competition against peers from over 90 countries. With cash prizes totaling up to 274,261 Kenyan shillings on the line, participants will have every incentive to excel. This competition stands as a testament to Huawei's commitment to nurturing talent and innovation in the ICT sector, paving the way for the future leaders of technology in Kenya and beyond. Irene Jukuna, GBS News.
On Tuesday, Russia's defense minister, Andrei Belousov, held discussions in Moscow with the Prime Minister of Burkina Faso, Apollinaire Joachim de Tabella, focused on expanding military ties between the two nations. The meeting underscores Moscow's growing efforts to strengthen its military, diplomatic and economic foothold in Africa as it competes with Western influence on the continent. This move comes amid heightened tensions between Russia and the West following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, marking the most significant standoff between Moscow and Washington in decades. Here is that report.
Russia's defense minister Andrei Belousov and Prime Minister of Burkina Faso Joachim de Tabella on Tuesday discussed the Moscow expanding military ties. Moscow has been pursuing a combination of military, diplomatic and economic interests in Africa, vying with the West for influence after Russia's war in Ukraine triggered the biggest confrontation between Moscow and Washington in decades. After Putin's landslide win in Russia presidential election in March, some newspapers in Africa saw Putin's re-election as reinforcing the stance of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger. Burkina Faso, under military leadership since a coup in 2022, has paid a host to contingents of the Wagner mercenary force, whose founder, Prigozhin, was killed in a plane crash in 2024. In June, Russia said it was sending additional military supplies and instructors to Burkina Faso to help the West Africa countries boost its defense capabilities and fight terrorism. Moscow has so far invested very little in Africa. According to United Nations data, OPEC's NUTAB, its arms exports, open NUTAB to sub-Saharan Africa, have fallen in recent years, according to 2023 data from the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. At the 2023 Russia-Africa Summit in St. Petersburg, Putin said Moscow signed a military technical agreement with 40 African countries, which potentially open the door for more Russian arms sales to the region.
Many people here know that the Soviet Union and Russia never assumed that we should only buy raw materials from Africa. How many enterprises, power plants, steel factories did the Soviet Union build in Africa? We must return to this practice, as my colleague has just said, and we will do this both bilaterally and on international platforms.
Paris Kigo, GBS News.
Do keep your comments coming in through our SMS line 21144 and GBS TV Africa on all our social media handles. That international news brings us to our sports news. Let's get sporty. Harambee Stars wrapped up their final training at Police Soccer Stadium yesterday in preparation for the AFCON 2025 qualifiers this morning. They traveled to Cameroon to face the Indomitable Lions in the first leg on October 11th at the Ahmedao Osport Stadium. They will return to Uganda for the second leg on October 14th. Currently, Kenya leads their qualification group with 4 points, tied with Cameroon, making this match critical. Due to the lack of FIFA-approved stadium in Kenya, the team plays their home matches in Kampala. Head coach Injin Firat is optimistic about the game, expressing confidence in the team's readiness despite some missing players. Notable absentees include Tuskers' David Odoro and Gor Mahia's Austin Othiambo due to injury. However, Alfred Scriven returns to the squad along with Adam Wilson, who has received his first call-up. Kenya's strong start in the qualifiers has raised hopes of return to the AFCON after missing the 2023 tournament. The team left Nairobi on a chartered flight and will hold a training session in Yaoundé this evening. With a blend of experience and new players, the squad is eager to secure a win against Cameroon.
It gives me confidence to see the last two fixtures, scoring back-to-back. I hope I can still compete in the same level in the national team. And the most important thing is, try just to bring the unity in the team so that as we are going to approach these two fixtures, which is very crucial, is also to urge for support from Kenyans, because after the first game against Zimbabwe, there was a lot of negative talk, but after we went and got something positive against Namibia, everybody started believing. So it's a two-legged fixture, we require also the support from Kenyans. They need to be patient with the team. They need to realize that, of course, this kind of high-caliber fixtures, we need to go out there and compete and show also Kenyans the hard work that the team has been building for the last 1 year. So
I'm looking forward to hopefully playing a big part in the team and helping the team to get results. I feel like in these games it comes down to whether we blend with each other, and it comes down to a team, as it's a team sport, and I feel like the group is very together and it's a good environment, so hopefully we take that into the game and come out with a positive result.
For me, these two matches against Cameroon will be also signal on the way if we go for AFCON.
The Harambee Stars will face South Sudan in the qualifiers for the 2024 Total Energies African Nation Championship. The draw for the qualifiers, conducted by the Confederation of African Football in Cairo, has set the stage for an exciting series of matchups across the CECAFA region. The first leg of the matches are set to take place between October 25th to 27th this year, with a return leg scheduled for November 1st to 3rd. The final phase is set to be held between December 20th to 29th. In the initial round of the knockout, Kenya will battle South Sudan, with the winner advancing to the final phase, where they will face the winner between Djibouti and Rwanda. The 2024 CHAN tournament will be co-hosted by Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania from February 1st to 28th, 2025, marking the first time in CAF history that a tournament is jointly hosted by three nations. As hosts, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania have already secured automatic qualification. Subject to this, CECAFA will have one additional representative at the tournament, while other zones have 3 representatives each. This will be the 8th edition of CHAN. And that sports news brings us to the end of our news segment tonight. Many thanks for joining the broadcast. And as always, here at GBS News 9, we make your news our business. My name is Beatrice Njeri. Our sign language interpreter is Paul Mathenge. Good night.
Everywhere